Ethiopia, or the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, is a country rich in history and culture located on the Horn of Africa. People of Ethiopia speak many languages primarily based on region, although the official language is Amharic. The country is the second highest population in Africa and is seen as a cultural epicenter as it holds many international organizations. The country is also renowned for its coffee. Even with a wealth of background and history, Ethiopia struggles with some basic necessities like water, tuberculosis prevention, and education.
Ethiopian Life Foundation works to improve the well-being of Ethiopians through concentrated efforts in developing measures for clean water, expanding the availability of education to females, and improving healthcare approaches for illnesses, including tuberculosis. Through donations from benefactors, we work towards remedying the situation at hand in order to improve the lives of Ethiopians affected by social, environmental, or health-related disparities.
Water can be hard to come by. Ethiopia is currently experiencing a drought, and this is wreaking havoc on the country's already dwindling water sources. Typically, water is found through ground reservoirs like shallow ponds. This water is unclean and can contain many different pathogens. Our current plans to aid this problem include developing underground pipelines and wells to bring water to rural communities or reach close enough to decrease their commute to find such. There are currently dedicated teams that provide the skills necessary to create these underground reservoirs, and with donations, they can bring drinking water to communities. In order to create the most efficient source of water, professional local teams are used, but this can leave poor infrastructure and design. We will combat this fault by providing reviews to ensure our success of our work in Ethiopia. E.L.F will be partnering with other charities such as Actions Against Hunger. Together we will use the money to create piped systems for water to travel, easily accessible clean wells, rainwater catchments, gravity-fed systems, and water purification systems.
Given the country's status of a developed nation, it is no surprise that Ethiopians are dying from a disease that most Americans won't encounter in a lifetime. Tuberculosis, or TB as it is commonly known, is a leading cause of death in Ethiopia. In 2014 alone, TB, a curable disease, claimed the lives of roughly 32,000 Ethiopians, with another 119,000 reported as infected. The World Health Organization characterizes Ethiopia as a high-burden country, a label given to the 22 countries with the worst outbreaks, making up 82% of the world's TB cases. TB is a highly contagious infection that often presents pneumonia and an infection in the lungs accompanied with a cough, many times coughing up blood. Those with weaker immune systems are most susceptible to the disease. That means individuals with human immunodeficiency virus, as well as children and the elderly. The strong presence of HIV in the country makes an especially problematic cycle of infection and transmission. The primary tactics of E.L.F wishes to use in combating tuberculosis include widespread organization, education, and availability of medication. One of the initial steps to fighting the problem is finding and identifying it. In many cases, there is a gap of information because of lack of data and organization. By creating a more unified network, the pathways of illness will be better understood and more easily combated. Once the full threat of infection is identified, education will be needed to make people aware of the ways TB can be spread and the importance of taking entire antibiotic treatments. Finally, we aim to make medication available by providing it at little or no cost.
Many, keeping food on the table and educating children is conflicting. In fact, 53% of children ages 5 to 14 work. The challenge of educating Ethiopia is sourced from especially difficult cultural and social norms. Circumstances for girls seeking education are especially challenging and undervalued. Girls trail in both tertiary and primary education, as well as literacy rates of 8 years and 41% respectively, compared to a male's 9 years of education and 57 literacy rates. Women especially are viewed as future homemakers and not assets. The problem of Ethiopian education falls not only on access, but is severely impacted by the social limits placed on females. Our solutions look to focus on the ideas of incentivizing families to send their daughters to school. For example, giving a sustainable source of income to families that then they are able to expand upon, such as food subsidies. Even more importantly, to ensure families' participation, attendance will be included.
With a donation of $1 billion, we'll be looking to divide the money among our projects to provide the most benefits in each. As seen in our graph, we will be looking to allot 37.5% to water develops. This includes providing employment for those who will develop the wells in addition to upkeep and surveying that will happen after the project is deemed completed. In our work with tuberculosis, we are looking to spend approximately 20.8% of the budget on providing education through classes, flyers, and other resources. In addition, some of this will go to provide medication for those at risk or affected by this disease. In terms of education, we will be looking to work with around 31.7% of the budget, because girls are limited in education due to cultural and social norms. Providing female-specific bathrooms in all schools helps in reducing the stigma of females experiencing puberty. In addition, we will be using the allotted money to provide schools with care packages for females, including female hygiene like pads, cleanliness packets. With these tools, hopefully girls will be more likely to stay in school and improve the present stigma surrounding puberty and little girls.